And the latest big lie from the GOP regarding what is in the rest of that health care bill would be amusing if it were not so insidious. Congresswoman Michele Bachman knows how to apply a new and false label to anything and to ignore both facts and logic to back it up. Speaking from the House floor last night, she focused on one of the House health care bills and a section in it providing for school-based health clinics. Remember, a key element in fear-mongering in any generation is effective name-calling.
These have been more accurately called school sex clinics.
By her. After that sleight of hand, Bachman routinely referred to the health clinics as sex clinics. Now for the rest of her spiel.
The bill orders that these clinics protect patient privacy and student records. What does that mean? It means that parents will never know what kind of counsel and treatment that their children are receiving. And as a matter of fact, the bill goes on to say what's going to go on. Comprehensive primary health services, physicals, treatment of minor, acute, chronic medical conditions, referrals to follow-up for specialty care. Is that abortion? Does that mean that someone's 13-year-old daughter could walk into a sex clinic, have a pregnancy test done, be taken away to the local Planned Parenthood abortion clinic, have their abortion, be back and go home on the school bus that night? Mom and Dad are never the wiser. They don't know any different.
Now I got the word sex mixed up with Michele Bachman in my mind. Meantime, in the very subsection of the very bill in which Bachman speaks, there is this. SBHC, school-based health clinics, often known as health clinics, will be provided in accordance with federal, state, and local laws governing 1, obtaining parental or guardian consent, and 2, patient privacy and student records. Bachman chose to focus on the patient privacy language while ignoring the parental consent mandate language. Let's turn now to the former Chief of Staff, the Senate Finance Committee, Huffington Post contributor, Lawrence O'Donnell. Good evening, Lawrence.
Good to be here, Keith.
End-of-life counseling, which you can bill your doctor for if he joins you and your relatives, became death panels. And school-based health clinics with mandatory parental information become sex clinics?
Well, according to Michele's definition, the House clinic that you were talking about earlier would be the Congressional Sex Clinic, where she and other female members of Congress can go and get abortions in the afternoon, and then, as she put it, be home for dinner with no one knowing the difference. That was her. She went on imagining what it would be like for these school kids to go get abortions and come home from school and the parents don't know it. So, yeah, she's really off the deep end once again.
But why is she bothering to go off the deep end when Democrats in the Senate are doing such a good job for her, as we discussed here? The nearest we've been able to narrow down who brought up this idea of putting people in jail for not buying this worse health care plan than we have currently is that it came somewhere in the markup from the Gang of Six. So that could be any one of those turkeys.
Well, you know, in '94, when I was working for Senator Moynihan, the chairman, then moving the health care bill in the Finance Committee, at the last minute, he came up with the strategic notion that he shared only with me, that why don't we put a death penalty in it, then we'll get Republican votes. So it could have been a misguided attempt to get the law and order vote on the Senate Finance Committee, but that won't see the light of day. What is true, though, is that
the death penalty won't see the light of day, or the jail time won't see it, because I don't know anymore.
The jail thing's not going to make it. But it all grows out of the problem with the individual mandate. And the history of the individual mandate is it was raised by Republican John Chafee in 1994, condemned by Hillary Clinton as the worst possible thing that we could do. Then when Hillary Clinton was running for president, she was in favor of an individual mandate. Her health plan was written by John Chafee's former staffer. So this individual mandate has traveled a long road from Republicanism now over to the Democratic Party. It has horrible enforcement implications. It's on your tax return. It's enforced through the tax code. So if you don't pay it, you are up for tax evasion here, which does theoretically, not in cases like this, carry a jail term. So the individual mandate carries a lot of serious problems in enforcement terms with it.
So if the Democrats have moved into that end of the twilight zone, clearly that has pushed the Republicans even further back. And we have that in the Hatch business to pass an abortion amendment yesterday. Onerous, unnecessary, but it does sort of signal their hand for the next round of this. They're going to go further, right? They're going to wind up repealing the idea of insurance to begin with, where now we're just going to pay the insurance companies money and they won't have to provide any coverage at all?
Well, they're definitely going to come back on abortion. That's not over. And by the way, for me, I was in the room yesterday when they voted on that. It was a particular pleasure for me because when I was at the Finance Committee, there were no women on the committee. And to see not just the women on the Democratic side, but also Olympia Snowe adding their votes against this Hatch amendment, which was unnecessary. They're going to come on taxes, Keith. That's the next level, is taxes. And the truth is, there are a lot of taxes in this bill. There are new taxes that no one's ever seen before and that were not part of the Obama presidential campaign about how to pay for this. Taxes is the weak spot. As long as Michelle Obama is out there giving video like that, the tax argument isn't being heard. So Michele Bachman is helping by drowning out the tax argument that's going on in the Senate Finance Committee right now.
We've had a canceled October recess, so there's no second round of town halls, at least with Democratic congressmen and senators present. It's left with throwing as many wrenches into the work as possible. What is the most they can get within the framework of not having the wild-eyed protesters out there?
The most they can get, in the end, is killing the bill completely. Yeah. They did it before. Now, when I look at Boehner, I have to say, boy, I wish we had been up against him in '94, because we were up against Newt Gingrich, we were up against Bob Dole, Bob Peckwood. These were very sharp players who knew exactly what the policy was in these bills, and they came at us on the policy that was in the bills, and that's how they won. This time around, these people are lost. Between Boehner and Michele Bachman, they have no idea what to say about this.
Well, you know why he gets that fake tan, right? Because otherwise he'd be so transparent that you could see right through him and you see the board behind him. You don't have to say it, I just did. Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC and the Huffington Post. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.